Hi all, welcome back to Unconditional Surrender. This is the Mediterranean scenario, Mediterranean 1940-1942. This is my part 3. So, yeah, we didn't quite get through the turn. Things slowed down a little. I've not actually marked anything to say where we're at, but I do know that we had completed the Axis operations phase. And yeah, we dealt with the supply and we were on the Western operations phase to see what they may be going to do. Okay, yeah, done some sort of strange things. Well, whether they're strange or not, just slightly different. Obviously, I watched a little bit of video playthrough of this. It's difficult, like I say, I don't think there's anybody done this full scenario on a video playthrough, which obviously I would have been jumping at. Like I say, the designer does do a bit of the scenario, basically just the first turn or so, and so it helps a little bit. There's a few other bits that talk about this area, so yeah, some of the things I've done haven't really been anything that I've seen, so I'm trying to change it up a bit. And we've got the air unit down here. Whether this is good or not, I figure we might want to try and like make a challenge on, Alexandria or Cairo. That's got to be. That's the only way the Axis can win this. What was one of the things I was thinking? Oh yes, what is the? Now again, I'm just going to be looking at my playbook. However, the only difference I did notice, the only blue bit from the errata or the new rule book is just how they word the victory conditions for the Western faction. But I think I'm on top of that now. Basically, we need to kick Italy out of Africa. We need to beat them out of Africa to win the game. That's what the Western need to do. So I can look at my playbook for the rest. What I want to see is when certain things go away and when they come back. Because, Alright, sorry, phone call yet again. Yeah, I want to know when, because there's a couple of special rules, isn't there? Yeah, in the September 40 strategic movement phase, actually that's not that far away. We're in July 40. So in the September 40 strategic movement phase, the Axis faction removes one Italy convoy unit and went to Albania to support the invasion of Greece. In the November 40 strategic movement phase, the Axis faction puts that convoy in any friendly port in mainland Italy as two sorties came back from Albania. Right, okay. Yeah, I'm glad I'm reading this because the next part's important as well. So that means one of their convoys goes away for 2 months. September, October. Well, actually, I want to say you're not going to get the use of it. Well, maybe it's just 2 months. Comes back in the strategic movement phase. However, yeah, it comes back in the strategic movement phase, but it ends up in mainland Italy. Well, you can move it across the Grant. Yeah, you can still move it back across. So obviously that's going to mess with supply issues. Because I've already seen how we struggled with supply, and yeah, I'm starting to realise that I'm sure a lot of you have said that I shouldn't have brought. Was it this unit? Because we've got 2 full strength units across, and we brought the air unit down. Yeah, that one come across. Where's the other? Yeah, and I'm talking about bringing this. I was talking about bringing this one across. Well, I think we should hold fire on that one because we need to supply them all, and that's a struggle. I suppose. I mean, all we're going to want to do with our convoys is basically supply these units. We're not going to try and go up against the British fleets and try and mess with them. But even trace and supply, once Force H comes, if it comes into Malta and sits in Malta, it's going to sit there and mess with our supply, isn't it? It's going to like stop our supply, I think. So I think it's going to get messy, that, isn't it? So, and then the fact that you've only got this small front to work with probably means that you don't need all these units down there. I mean, okay, I've got the two full strength units down. I don't think we need the other one to come across. I mean, by all means, leave it there. If one of these happen to get eliminated, and we can then move that one across, maybe. But don't just bring it across just now, Grant. Just keep it there and keep it supplied and keep it ready, maybe standing by. So yeah, 2 months of that convoy going away. And then just to carry on the Axis factions special rules here, starting with August 40, or any later turn, but August 40 is next turn, right? This is July 40. So starting next month, the Axis faction may make one amphibious invasion in a sea zone containing an Axis ground unit stacked with a convoy unit. No surprise attack marker is used. It may only make one attempt during the whole scenario. Yeah, and just reading on that next part where it talks about the Axis player may set up the Italy 2 and 4 ground units and any land hex in an Italian mainland and or overseas area. I probably should have considered one of them just being in mainland Italy. So starting to see some of that. Yeah, maybe not. We've got them. Well, we've got them all supplied, but 2 of them we got in low supply, and it's going to get worse when Force H comes across, which is going to happen shortly, and it's going to stop some of these supplies from happening. Yeah, we need to whittle it sorties up to 6 as well, to stop it from messing about with that. So yeah, amphibious invasion. I don't know where that's going to be. I mean, obviously it could be along. Now Beirut is that's part of Syria, isn't it? Right. So which is part of France. Well, that's yeah. Well, I don't think it can even go in there, because it's only the Western faction that can declare war against Syria and Iraq. Maybe that's got something to do with it then. Well, I mean, look at Port Said right now. It's not got anything in it. So the British will need to watch this, because come next month, the Italians will be able to attempt to make an amphibious. Then again, making an amphibious landing when Force H is around is going to be hard as well, isn't it? It's likely to fail. Okay, well, we need to look into the numbers for that. And then what I was more thinking about this is the special rules for the Western faction. So this is in the March 41 strategic movement phase, so that's a wee bit away yet. In fact, that's almost a year away. Well, not a year. Well, we're in July, August, September, March. So 9 months. 9 months away. We one UK motorised unit is removed that went to Greece. Well, if you know us, the British only have one mobile motorised unit. They don't get anything else in either. They don't get another unit in. So the WDF is going away. And it does say motorised unit. It's not that we can take one of the garrisons. So that's going away. It's going away from March to June. So March, April, and then it comes back in June. So again, that's similar to the convoy for the Italians. So it's going away for 2 months, and then it comes back from Greece. And then in September of 42, again, one UK motorised unit is removed from the scenario. It left to prepare for Operation Torch and upgrading to the First Army. The UK 8 ground unit can upgrade a UK motorised unit. I don't understand. Right, if that's September 42, we get that upgrade in September 42. Or is that what that's saying, that we get that instead? In the September 42 strategic movement phase, one UK motorised unit is removed from the scenario. And again, like I say, we've only got one. It left to prepare for Operation Torch and upgrading to the First Army. And then the last bullet is the UK 8 ground unit can upgrade a UK motorised unit. Ooh, okay, I'm not quite sure I understand that. They both happen in the same month. And that comes off the turn track before the strategic movement phase. So does that mean that we can upgrade that motorised unit and then it goes away? No, because if we upgrade it, sure we're replacing it, are we not? Okay. I'll need to look more into that one, but that's not until near the end of the scenario. But March 41 is an important date for that unit going away. But it wasn't quite as close as I thought. I thought that was sooner. Okay, right. Let's get back to some gameplay, Grant. I think first of all, I want to get this air unit moved. So, now this is slightly different because this is an air. Well, I think it's still a naval transport. It's going to transport the air unit. And remember that convoy's in the same hex. What do I want to look up here? Maybe again naval transport, looking at the air side. I think we basically activate the air unit, so it's going to take a sortie. Is it going to... Yeah, it's not going to do it in the one move though, Grant, that's the thing. So air... no, it's not air, sorry. Naval transport, I think is what I want. Page 24. Now give me a sec. Right, a little awkward to look at this for me because it's the way at the left hand of the table. Naval transport 6.4.4 on page 24 in my rulebook. If a phasing air or ground unit that activates to move is stacked with a convoy unit, that convoy can also activate to transport that air or ground unit across sea zones and our map boxes. The air or ground unit's nationality does not matter, only that it is friendly. The air or ground unit must begin its activation stacked with the convoy. That is the case. Convoy can transport only one unit at a time, therefore stacked air and ground unit need to be transported separately. Okay, as the convoy is moving, it can be intercepted. When the convoy enters a sea zone, the convoy and escort and transported unit may be placed in a friendly port within that sea zone to drop off the transported unit in that hex. That hex cannot already contain a convoy unit or warship if there is a naval escort with a group or the same type of unit being transported. Yeah, okay. When placed in its destination hex, the transported unit's activation ends. Remember, a transported ground unit cannot activate again in that phase. Also, a transported air unit adds one sortie to its total unless the air unit added sorties due to its successful interdiction of the naval transport. Okay, after the transported unit is placed, the convoy and escort can continue moving or end its move in the port. Right, sorties. When the convoys and escort activation ends, it did not fight a combat, add one sortie to its total. Yeah, that's the same. And it gives you an example there, which... Yeah, I'm not going to go through that, I don't think. So, in the transport can move 10. It's got 10 movement points. The same, isn't it? But for convoy, these movement points, they move one movement point into a C zone. If they move into a map box, that costs 3 movement points though. And that's going to be relevant here because we don't have an escort here. And as soon as we, hang on, we can start a move here and move, and that's a fact. When we end the 10 hexes, do we have to end in a port? Yeah, we will, won't we? So, and when I say 10 hexes, sorry, 10 movement points. So it starts here, and remember this convoy's, well, you know what? I'm going to activate this. I'm not going to put a sortie on it yet because it could be involved in a combat. So we're going to naval transport this air unit. So, well, hang on, Grant, because I don't think we're going the way that you're starting to think. Yeah, in fact, this is not the way Sal does it in that playthrough he goes up. Because what we could do is we could move into C-Zone 7 for 1 movement point. We could then move into C-Zone 16 for another movement point. That's 2. We then have to go through the Gibraltar Strait, which makes me think that that's going to cost an extra. That's on the other side of this, isn't it? Movement. Naval movement. +2 straight if moving across the strait. So it's going to cost +2. So 1, 2. Then it's going to be 3 to move into 17. However, another +2. So that's 5. 6. 7. Well, where are we trying to get this air unit? I don't know. That would be 7. That would be 8. Yeah, you've got to find somewhere to put it, Grant. I mean, 7 could be here and we could put it in Malta. Yeah. And in actual fact, we could put it in Malta, and Force H could still come and join it in Malta because there's not an escort, there's not a warship with this convoy. So we would have a convoy, well, we would have a ground unit and a fort, and we would have a convoy and an air unit, and then we could also allow for a warship in that hex, all stacked in that hex. So that could happen. So what did I say, 7 to there? However, we could move on 8, 9, and then we could end up in Alexandria. So that would be one whole move and only cost 1 sortie to the convoy and the air unit. However, the problems with that are that this is going to mean, although we've moved the air unit, does it need to be in a port? I think it does, doesn't it? It can't just be in a coastal hex if it's going to intercept. Pretty sure it needs to be in a port. Just looking along here at the air unit, because I've done strange things with this. It feels strange. Well, it doesn't really. It feels kind of natural to want air support. But I think for the scenario, it's maybe not the right thing to be doing, but we shall see. I want to say that it would have needed to be in Tobruk right now to be able to go and intercept a unit. We need to be in a port, not just in a beach hex, if you like. Pretty sure that's right. I'll have to look into that to see. However, this first fleet is in Tripoli, 1st Italian Fleet, and yeah, I mean this air unit with its convoy is going to come through this area, and in fact it can intercept it in C-Zone 19 because this can intercept within 2 C-Zones. And remember, because that's a convoy and not got an escort with it, it's going to get a -2 to that. So it's quite likely to fail there. And then where would it have to go? It's not really got... I think the nearest port would probably be back in Gibraltar. It would end up back in Gibraltar then, if it failed the transport. So, although that's getting to move it in one move, in one sortie, which is what I'd like to do, I think it's too risky. Because not only could First Fleet intercept it there, it could also intercept it here. If it happened to not succeed there, it could intercept it here, and then it could intercept it there as well. And then, well, if I was going to move it on, unless of course I do go for Malta. Yeah, I'm forgetting about Malta actually. It could land there, couldn't it? So what did I say? This was 7. However, if it went there and got intercepted, couldn't Malta be the nearest port for me? Because it's one sea zone away that way, and 17 is one. That's one sea zone away. Gibraltar is one sea zone from 19, and Malta would be one sea zone from 19. So would I not get to choose? Okay, I think that might still be worthwhile thinking about, Grant. I don't think I really wanted Malta. I think ideally I'd rather have it along, because we are going to have to trace supply for it for there as well. Yeah. But there's no way I'm going to get through sea zone 19, 22 and 24. And not only that, did they not have another convoy? The Italians, where is it? Yeah, it's in here. They have another fleet in here. Sorry, not convoy, fleet. Okay, it's got 2 sorties on it, but... So there's no danger we're going to get right through that Mediterranean Sea to end up in Alexandria. However, there's another way of doing it. Which is, I think, what we're going to do then. And I suppose that's looking at what the designer done when he done the playthrough. So we would move it out of Plymouth into Sea Zone 7. It's got to go into Sea Zone 7 to start with. So that's 1. Then into Sea Zone 9. Now, right, hang on though. As I'm not one of these boxes that takes from Sea Zone 7 even. Yeah, the North Atlantic Ocean box, right? It says Western units only, adjacent to Sea Zones 1, 2, 7 and 16. No supply check needed. Okay, so we move into Sea Zone 7 for 1 movement point. Then we move into the North Atlantic Ocean box. That costs us another 3, so that's 4. Then we move into the Eastern North America box, which is another 3, so that's 7. And then you can see this arrow takes us down and right round, right down. So we've spent 7, and I think this is right. So then we're in the South Atlantic Ocean box. That costs another 3 to enter that. And does say that, it costs 3 for a map box. So that would be us in 10. And you know what? We're going to do this. So let's just do this. Oops. So that's took us 10 points to get down there. 10 movement points. Which ends our activation. Right, and then what happens then is we need to add a sortie to the convoy and to the air unit. Now he started with 4 sorties, the air unit in mind, so it's not good. But I think we need the air unit down in Alexandria. We need it down in Egypt. I don't think it's going to be as useful in Malta. So I want another sorting marker for the air unit. So he's up to 5, right? So then we're going to activate this again, and we're going to carry on, and it's going to move. You can see the arrow joining here. So it's going to take us right along. Sorry, that's rather shoddy. Right along into here. So that's going to be 3 movement points. Just going to bring it along. So we've still got another 7 movement points of this activation. Western units only, UK supply source, no supply check. 1 UK unit may mobilise here. Okay, that's not connected to anything though. So then we need to move into there, the Arabian Sea, for another 3 movement points, another movement point box. And I'm not quite showing you that. And then that says, Western units only, no supply check needed, adjacent to sea zones 31 and 32. So I spent 6 movement points to get to there. And now this is adjacent to either this sea zone or, which we're going to use, this sea zone. So now we spend our 7th movement point to go into sea zone 31. Which I'm assuming is Suez. Now we can't end there because there's a convoy already there. See, I don't know, we're in the sea zone though, aren't we? That's 7. It costs us 2 to go through the canal, I think. Yeah, 2 points to go through the canal. So that would be 9. So I want to say that we're now in sea zone 26 and we've spent 9 points. Is that right? I think so. 2 map boxes is 6. Into this sea zone was another 1 for 7. Through the canal was 2 for 9. And then, assuming nobody can intercept us there, however, I think they can. No, they can't. They can't. The nearest, this fleet is in, what was that? Benghazi? So it would need to go 1, 2. So it could intercept in sea zone 25. It cannot intercept in sea zone 26. And, ooh, they have the air unit. Well, I already said, I think the air unit would need to be in this port. And however, an air unit can only intercept in the sea zone, so it doesn't get the 2 sea zone stretch. So 9 movement points to there, and then we're going to settle now in Port Said, I think. So we end everything in Port Said. So it's a ground unit, and I'm just going to move the convoy out of the port, but it's clearly in the port. And then when we finish that, we add a sortie to the air unit and a sortie to the convoy. And that way, although it took us 2 sorties to get there and it was more costly, there's no way, I don't think we would have ended up getting there. We would have got stopped. And we may well have had more sorties. I don't know. Well, maybe not. Maybe that wouldn't have been the case. But, well, I don't know. Maybe we could have fought our way through it as well. Well, that first fleet for the Italians doesn't have any sorties on it. So we would have met that with a straight head-on. Yeah, no sorties against no sorties. So maybe that was worth that. Yeah. Oh, but remember, this is a convoy. He would have got a -2, remember, for being a convoy. Anyway, okay, I think that's a better way to do it. But you can see we're all battered up now. So that's that done. Now, what else do we want to do then? Who knows? We've got the 4th convoy in Suez, so we can trace supply through from that into sea zone 31 and back to the UK. Well, in fact, all we need to do is basically trace into. That says no supply check needed, Western units only. That says UK supply source. Yeah, so we can trace supply through this convoy into sea zone 31, into the Arabian Sea, and then into the Western Indian Ocean without having the chance of being intercepted. And then that is a UK supply source. So that would incur a sortie for that 4th convoy, but you can see that we can put everything through that. However, yeah, it's going to gather the sorties, and then we've got other things that we need to try to supply here. Well, we'll get to the supply. Are we going to do any more? Well, that's our air unit. Right, what about, I think Force H is probably the next thing that we need to try and see what we're doing. And again, suppose I'm looking at what the designer done when I watched the part of the scenario he done. And he moved Force H into Malta, which probably sounds right. It's in the middle, and whether that was historical, it might well have been. Sorry, I don't know. I know it was a struggle getting Malta supplied, to be honest, wasn't it? Like I say, it was a big target for the Axis, wasn't it? So, I mean, the other places we could bring it to Crete. We could bring it along here to Crete. Now you've got to watch, because, well, we could bring it to Alexandria. Can we? No, we can't. We can't, because the Med fleet's in Alexandria. Rhodes is Italian, so we could bring it to Crete. That's Port Said. Well, that's only a convoy, so we could bring it to Port Said as well. I think we'll start moving it and see what happens first. You know, we could also bring it to, what's that, Haifa. There, because that's just a convoy that's in there as well. And even Cyprus, what is it? Famagusta in Cyprus. So there's plenty of places to put it. But yeah, let's just see about moving it along and see what the Italians do about it, basically. Okay, so we're going to activate Force H. Right? This is a carrier, remember. So it moves out of Gibraltar into Sea Zone 17 for 1 movement point. It can't be intercepted there. The first possible interception is from First Fleet, which can go into Sea Zone 19. I'm just looking a bit going around the back. We go 18, 20, 21, but I don't think we can get through that straight then, because that's not a friendly. We can't cross through that straight, surely. No. This strait that we crossed through before was a UK strait, so it was friendly. So that was fine. But yeah, just me looking up the back there thinking I could sneak. Well, actually, even when I come through, this is where I would get. Well, no, you could intercept us in 21, couldn't he? Because he can go into 22, and then he can cross that straight into 21. I'm pretty sure we can't come through that straight anyway. So it's not going to help. I don't think. No, we are going to have to enter Sea Zone 19. So let's just do it. So we then spend our second movement point for Force H, move into Sea Zone 19. So now the first Italian fleet can intercept. Goes 1, 2 sea zones. I think it wants to try there, because if it can see, well, if it stops it there, but then again, it's still got to end in its nearest friendly port, which I think could be Malta or Gibraltar again, couldn't it? Is that right? So hang on here. This is what are we doing here? We're doing a naval move, or is it naval rebase? I think it's just naval movement, isn't it? Well, naval rebase is 23. Let's see. Naval rebase. A phasing naval unit can be activated to move. This move can be intercepted. The movement's done. Right, maybe it is a naval rebase. What's the difference between a naval rebase and a naval movement then? Which is page 12. Oh, I think it's just telling you about how it moves. Yeah, and how it... I'm sure it tells me in there that I've got 10 movement points. Costs 1 movement point per sea zone, 3 movement points per map box. Not for sure it does tell you about the 10. But the 10 is on the movement. When you look at movement, it tells you... what does it say? Unit movement points. Full supply. Leg ground unit is 8 points. All other units is 10 points. So it gets 10 movement points, but different movement through sea. It's 1 for a sea zone, 3 for a map box. It doesn't count hexes. Not for this. Right, so yeah, it is rebasing, but it's moving as well. So it needs to follow the restrictions for movement. So why was I needing to look that up? Yeah, to see what the modifier things were happening. What happened? Oh yeah, no, to see what happened if it fails. That's right. So it's naval movement. Right. So we want to see interdiction here. That's what we want. Naval movement or naval transport. Naval units activation. This is if it happens to fail. If the interdiction succeeds. If it's successful, then the naval unit's activation ends. It and any naval escort are moved to the nearest friendly port based on movement point costs. Based on movement point costs. Oh, I see. So it would have to have the movement points left to be able to move to... Well, sure, it's going to have... Well, I don't know. Right, okay. Well, it's based on movement point costs and ignoring any remaining movement allowance. So you didn't read that through, Grant. So yeah, it means nearest friendly port based on the movement point cost. It just ignores things. So if it is in 19, if it was to get if the interdiction was successful, well, what about France? Well, Spain's out, but what about France? Is France not? No, France will be... France is German occupied, isn't it? At this time. So none of these ports are available. Tunis is in French North Africa, so that's not available. So there's Algiers and Oran. So we've got back to Gibraltar there, which is 1 sea zone away, or over in Malta, which is 1 sea zone away. So I think they're as close as. So I think we can end in Malta anyway, no matter what happens. So what about the fight then? If Force H were to go up against the First Fleet, let's have a little glance. Now this is going to be... It's going to be advantageous to the British. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Italians might not want to take it on, because it wants to mess with Force H. So you can see though that for a UK naval unit they get +2, for a carrier unit in Farewell they get +2. So they're sitting at a +4. And there's no sorties on either unit, so it'd be a +4 to the British and a straight up 0 for the Italians. There's no events. No, see, this is where maybe should have been keeping the submarines for to give that -2, but well, that boat's sailed. Yeah, no pun intended. So, do they want to do that? Well, let's have a look. So a +4 to and this is still never printed out that little bit that covers maybe just just to sort of show what you're going to be up against. Yeah, there's so many other things that you want to do for all these games, and of course there are other game as well, and there's sequence of play cards, and then of course I want to print out the new rule book, the more up to date 11 rules for this game they're playing just now, and the playbook, but just going to wait a little bit longer. Let's say I'm not harassing the designer. It's just he mentioned that there probably was a new revision in the works, so I'm not saying that. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to print it out just now. I'm not trying to push you or anything like that. So I'll just let me know when it happens. Oh well, I'll see it. I'll see it when it happens. So with a +4, so they can get between a 5. Right, hang on. We are going to be defending here though, so we can get between a 5 and So hang on, but +4, we roll a 6. Yeah, so we can get between a 5 and a 10. Yeah, and then they're getting a 0, so they can get between a 1 and a 6. So yeah, so I mean the likelihood of them getting a result, I need to roll a 1, a 2, or a 3, and they'd need to roll high, wouldn't they, for to get the diamond. Well, that's just to get the diamond result as well, which isn't going to stop it, is it? Yeah. Right, I'm getting too many interruptions and time's moved on, and I get the feeling I'm not going to get right through this part, to be honest. Right through this turn. So yeah, didn't look good results for the Italians. So does that mean that they should avoid this then? And just let Force H just do what it wants? The likelihood is going to happen that, in actual fact, it could end up that the first fleet end up with 2 sorties on it, and Force H just strolls into Malta with 1 sortie on it. And if First Fleet don't react at all, it's not going to have any sorties on it. Force H is still going to gather a sort. Yeah, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to let this go. Oh, I don't know how wrong that is, but so we're not going to intercept. Yeah, but here's the thing, Grant. You could intercept it there, then it would gain 1 sortie there, then you could intercept it again there, and it would gain another sortie, so it would end up with 2 sorties when it will reach Malta. Yeah, but you're likely to... Well, if it fails, if your interception fails, which is more likely, you still will then get a chance to intercept it again there, but maybe with 2 sorties on yourself, so the likelihood... Nah. Well, look, just the first time you're playing this, and you need to learn, you need to know how it all works. So we're not going to intercept. It's then going to move into C-Zone 22, and we're not going to intercept there either. And then I'm going to end and place Force H in Malta, and it's going to gather 1 sortie. Yeah, that could be totally wrong. I maybe should be hammering that with everything I get, but... Okay. Right, let's see if we can't maybe squeeze through this part. I'm not so sure. Well, it depends. What else are British going to do? They've got the 4... This 4 and the 4 in Malta. We're not going to touch any of them. they're automatically supplied as well, the units. Malta, because it's an island, on a fort on an island. And Gibraltar, because it's got a special rule. It's not a fort on an island as such, but it's got a special rule that's saying it's in supply. So we are going to have to trade supply for Force H again. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll play it this way. We'll play the nice way. We'll be nice and let it settle and see how that works. Probably not the right idea. Because the fact it's a carrier, we should be just probably chucking everything at it. Because it costs 5 points. It costs 5 production points to bring 2 sorties off it. No, okay, I'm going to leave it. Because remember, for its supply trace, it's going to gain on our sortie, but then are the British not going to just spend 5 points to remove the 2? Oh, maybe, but their production isn't great, so and they definitely want 3 points for the air unit, or it's not going to be able to do anything. Okay, moving on. So the rest of the British forces are across in Egypt and Palestine. This convoy, that's the RAF that came through with the convoy. We've got this garrison, then we've got the WDF. Right, so I think we're just going to stay put. The WDF is in the city, across the river. No, it can't be isolated, Grant. It can't be isolated. We're going to have air support for it too. So bringing this Italian air unit down, was that really worthwhile? I mean, it's only got 2 sorties. The British has got 6. So there is that. And in fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. So we could actually airstrike the air unit. So that was maybe not the best idea. Well, I think I had to end in a port, didn't I? Anyway, so... Well, you could... Oh no, you can't move it. Can't move it because it's full up, sorties. Okay. Right, so I'm not going to move the WD. In fact, I don't think I'm going to do anything more. No, I don't think I am. So we're now just going to trace our supply. Give me a sec. Right, so I don't think I'm going to do any more operations. So sub-phase, supply phase. Like I said, Gibraltar fort's fine. Malta fort's fine. Force H is going to have to trace supply. And yeah, I'm just going to do it through the sea zones back to Plymouth. And yeah, the Italians are just going to let it happen. I feel like I'm being a bit of a wimp now. Because when are you going to start doing something? Yeah, this is maybe wrong, Grant, is it? Yeah, we'll see. We'll just play it this way and we'll see. And if it comes about that Force H is the master of the seas here and just can stop everything from happening, then fair enough. We did get this Italian unit across. I've already said we're not going to... I don't think we need to bother moving this unit across. We are going to have to try and trace supply through Force H. So I dare say it's going to have questions there for us. But then maybe that's when we'll rack up the sorties. So let it go and take its supply. And that moves it up. No, stop, Grant. No, I'm forgetting. It doesn't take a sortie if it traces its supply by itself. Well, I'm not so happy about that then. So do I want to intercept then? Yeah, it's a bit annoying if it's just going to end up with one sortie. But then, if they ended up with two sorties, they would take the two sorties off it. And they might well have the points to be able to take the one sortie off it anyway. And this turn, they might. Yeah, they might do. Okay, I'm going to just leave it. I'm going to see what happens. So it's going to trace supply back to Plymouth, and because it's a fleet, it doesn't add the sortie because it was not intercepted. Question mark. Okay. Right, for the rest of the British forces here, well, the WDF needs to be supplied, and so does the air unit. So I'm going to run them through the 4th convoy, into Sea Zone 31, into Arabian Sea, and into the Western Indian Ocean box. So both of them I'm going to run through there. That's 2 sorties to the 4th convoy. Got the Med Fleet, we've got the third convoy. Third convoy doesn't need to. First convoy, second convoy. So we've got the 2 garrison units. Well, I think this garrison unit might just... Right, you've got to watch. Is it next month that they get the strategic... You've got it open here, Grant. Not strategic. What is it I'm looking for? Surprise attack? Well, no. Sorry. They're allowed to make 1 amphibious invasion. Yeah, but they need to start with a convoy, and well, I mean they could do it from here, couldn't they? But as soon as they move into Sea Zone 24, Force H is going to say hello, and then they've got to get into 25, and they've got the Med Fleet here as well. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'm going to just supply the 9th UK into Jerusalem. What does this mean? It's going to take low supply. Actually, hang on. How many? I didn't spend any production points. There are 16. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I just maybe feel like this unit should be moving into Cairo. So I think I'm going to backtrack a little bit and move him into Cairo. So that's going to cost me a production point to do that. Down to 15. I think I'm going to... I am just going to supply him through here as well. That's silly. That's knocking that up to 3. But hang on, I'm going to spend 3 here, 6, 9, and then the other 5 I was thinking about, Force H, is 14. So that would be you, done. So, well, you shouldn't do it that way then, right? Right, so I'm gonna trace the supply for the UK unit in Cairo into Alexandria, and then through the 3rd convoy into Sea Zone 26. Sorry, is that going to 25? Or is it going to either? think it's either, isn't it? Yeah, it's got the dotted line on either side. So into C zone 25. So I think we'll maybe wait and just use the first fleet for this, because this third convoy's got no it's got no sorties on it. So then into C zone 24, and then in C zone 24 the first fleet is going to try and intercept that. The first Italian fleet is going to try and intercept the third convoy's supply trace. Okay, so modifiers there are +2 for UK. UK is the defender, Italians are the attacker. So it's +2 for the UK naval unit, and that's going to be none of them have sorties on them. So swing along there. Zoom in a little bit. What did I say? +2 for the defender. That's right. Eventually went and picked the dice up off the floor. So +2 for the blue dice. Where is my dice? Yeah. So just a +2. Nothing for the Italians. Is that right? No events to be able to use. Yeah, I forgot about the air unit versus naval unit. That's a +1. Forgot about that one. Not that we're... Ooh. Well, I don't think that air unit could. I'm going to have to look that one up. I think it still needs to be in a port. Surely it just can't be on the beach. Maybe though. It doesn't sound right. Right, well, we'll leave that. So it's a +2 for the blue dice. There you go. Right, a 4 and a 4. So there's going to be a 4 to a 6. Which is actually going to be an AS +2. So AS +2, and this is a supply trace. See, I think that might backfired. Yeah, it did, didn't it? AS +2. So the defender adds 1 sortie, the attacker adds sorties equal to the number. And then when we check down for supply, oh, hold on, stop. Yeah, hang on. I'm just doing this through a convoy, I'm making a mistake here. I need an escort if we're going to do it this way, Grant. Right, well, let's assume I was taking my escort with me, right? And not be silly. So it was the third convoy, however, we are taking the med fleet with us. So he's got a -1 sortie though. So that does change the die result, doesn't it? Because it would have been a +1. We rolled a 4 and a 4, so it would have been a 4 against a 5, which would have been a diamond result. Okay, so that would have added a sortie to attacker and defender, and then the effect would have been yeah, we are escorting. I think I'm just a little confused between if we're looking at this. I think we still are looking at escort before we look at supply line trace. So escort successful, intercepting units activation ends. So it's a sortie each. So that does mean that the med fleet incurs a sortie. Right, hang on though. Yeah, no, that's right, I think, Grant. And the convoy doesn't yet, because we've not resolved that part. And the first fleet here incurs a sortie. And then, so the trace is reached C zone 24, isn't it? So I then carry on into C zone 22. And does he do it again? And I think the answer is maybe yes. So now we've got -2 sorties to -1, however, +2 for the UK. So the UK is going to be at a 0, and the attacker is going to be a -1, because the Italians have got 1 sortie. And we're going to roll that again. 3, a 2, 3 -1's a 2, so it's a 2 and a 2. That's going to be a diamond again. So diamond again means that we each incur 1 sortie. And then we're travelling on. We're travelling into season 19. I think I don't want to do it anymore. We could still do it once more. I just feel like just keeping that 2 sorties, at least we can remove the sorties off that. So I'm going to let it go now. So it's then going to trace into 19, and it's 17, and it's 16, and away round to Plymouth. So it's going to end up supplying this 10th Army. The convoy that done the supply trace now incurs 1 sortie. That wasn't involved in any attacks because the escort took care of it. And that's that guy supplied. We'll put that guy in low supply. This convoy doesn't need supply. This convoy doesn't need supply, and neither does that. We've done the Force H. The last thing we need to do... I'm sorry, this convoy doesn't need supply. So the last thing we need to check for supply is this med fleet. However, he can go through... Yeah, he can go through there, can't he? He can go through Suez Canal. So he traces into season 26, into the Suez Canal, 31, into these map boxes. So he doesn't need to go through the med. Yeah, okay, good stuff. Now in 2 minutes, can we finish the turn off? Is there a lot more to do, or should I just stop there? That's our operations and our supply check subphase. Replacements, upgrade, mobilisation, diplomacy. Well, to be honest, Grant, yeah, you can finish this. Because you've just got upgrades, replacements to do, really, haven't you? There's nothing in the turn track as well. There's nothing to mobilise. Okay. So no supply phase. There's nobody in no supply. Replacement phase. Right, for the Italians, they have 10 points, I think. So they've got 10 points. They definitely want their air. So that is going to take 2 off. That's going to cost them 3 points. 1, 2, 3. That's them down to 7. So they've got this guy multiplying. So they've got this, and this. So yeah, they can only do 2 of the things. Yuck. So they've only got, well, they could do a convoy and a fleet. You know, better just doing these ones, Grant. I don't know. I feel like this one's closer to Force H, but so that costs 4 points to take off the fleet. It only costs 3 points to take off one of the convoys. So I can't do 2 fleets here because I've only got 7 points left. Okay. So I'm going to do the first fleet for 4 points, and I'm going to do the second convoy for another 3 points then. That wipes out the Italian production. Okay, and then for the UK, they spent 1 point, so they've got 15 points left. Oops. Excuse the tripod in a little bit, Grant. Bumped the map there. So 15 points. So 3 to take 2 sorties off the air. Yeah. So that's down to 4. And then that was 3 points, down to 12. 4. Yeah, it's left me with a bit of a... Don't feel like it's worth it for Force H because he's only got 1 sortie. So I suppose that's left me with that dilemma. What did I say I've got left? 12. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Or 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we do Force H. I'm going to do 4 for the Med Fleet anyway. So that takes that down to 1 sortie. Two, 3, 4. I've got 8 points left. Yeah, so I can either do 2 convoys or I could do Force H and a convoy. Right, I'm definitely going to do this convoy for 3. Yeah. And then... I think Force H can survive with one sortie on it, Grant. And yeah, I do feel like I should have been hitting that. I should have been trying to bash it about a bit. It would have been painful for the Italians, but I think they probably should do it. No matter, they know that they're going to be taking a bit of a beating. Suppose it's just the thought here of wasting 2 production points. To be honest, you've got the second convoy there as well, so I mean you can trace up into that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to spend the 5 and remove that. And that's wiped out the British production points. So that kind of does look like that was maybe a mistake. The Italians should have. Force H coming out of that with no sorties on it at the end. Feels like there was something wrong there. Okay, never mind. It's done. So that was replacements, upgrade phase, there's none of that. Mobilisation, there's nothing to mobilise. There's no diplomacy in this scenario. Victory check, it hasn't happened. End of turn phase, we advance a turn marker. So we'll do that. So it's into August 1940. And this is the turn that the Axis can carry out an amphibious invasion. Yeah, I just kind of feel like good luck with that one, but no, we should look at it. There's a reason it's there, so we should try and look at the possibility of maybe, well, at least trying it, I suppose. Yeah, nothing to bring off the map, and move all units, faction cards, eliminated box to its mobilisation box. Well, there's nothing eliminated, so nothing to move there. And that's it. We're going to go on in the August 1940 turn. So we eventually get through the first turn. Right, okay, I'll leave that for now. It's an hour and 9 minutes, so that's about okay. Yeah, feel more already that I need somebody else to play this against, but I know I'm not a 2-player gamer, but I just feel like somebody else should be making these decisions. I kind of started feeling I would have that. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. It's just like, I don't know the decisions I'm making, you know. Even if I was playing somebody else and they were making the wrong decisions, at least it's them making the decisions. I suppose that's how it works, isn't it? Right, anyway, okay. Right, I'll leave that. That's going to be me for tonight. I'll hopefully get back for a bit more tomorrow. I'm still off work tomorrow, and yeah, should get back quite a bit leading up to the next period of time. It's not too bad at work, etc. So get some of this in, and I'm enjoying the other game on our table as well. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Cheers.